an artificial tree used by the British Army as an observation point during World War I. New York's polo championship, I'm sure there were injuries, 1912. The horror of knowing you're about to die was the final reality for Auschwitz victims. Deceived into entering what they thought were showers, they were trapped in gas chambers. This photo shows the scratch marks from their nails, a testament to their final, horrifying realization as they died. German concentration camp, circa 1940. A device for breaking the wrists of heretics, invented by Christian priests in the 15th century. It was used to break the arms of heretics. Hyundai's founder paid for the shipment of 1,001 cows to his native village in 1998. He had stolen and sold a cow in his youth to buy a ticket to Seoul. Robert Earl Hughes was one of the heaviest people in medical history. In 1958, at the age of 32, Robert Earl Hughes passed away. At the time of his death, he weighed around 450 kilograms, 1,000 pounds. Wounded when a mine blew up his Jeep, an ambulance driver sobbed by the side of the road after learning that a friend was killed in the blast. Korea, 1950. Secret societies in Latin America, 1920. In 1996, American Larry Ruttman threw a boomerang that returned and hit him in the head. Larry sued himself for damages totaling $300,000 and won the case. Francesco Lentini, a man with a rare developmental anomaly from the island of Sicily. He was born in 1889 with 3 legs and 2 sexual organs, earning his living by working in a circus. Mormons imprisoned for polygamy, Utah, 1889. A dog bids farewell to its fallen U.S. soldier friend, Afghanistan War, 2004. Alphonse Allais, Battle of Blacks in the Cave, late at night, 1893. A prisoner at the Dachau concentration camp during a medical experiment, 1943. A car powered by charcoal, Japan, 1945. The most dangerous cat in the world, which killed 436 people. The Champawat tigress, Nepal, 1911. Just minutes before the hanging of Nazi war criminals, February 2nd, 1946. Edward Bloch, a Jewish doctor and personal physician to Adolf Hitler. He was under Hitler's personal protection, who called him a noble Jew. Reporters watch a nuclear test during Operation Plum Bob, USA, 1957, the largest and most controversial nuclear series on U.S. soil. 29 bombs detonated. This photo is a unique piece of history. It shows Geert Adriaens Boomgaard, the last living man who fought for French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte. Geert was born in 1788 and died in 1899 at the age of 110. A gay wedding organized in 1921 by the young party member of the Baltic Fleet, Afanasy Schauer. Schauer hoped for praise and rewards from his superiors and gathered about 100 gay men, whom he then tried to accuse of a counter-revolutionary conspiracy. Soviet Union. Mother and son watch a growing mushroom cloud during nuclear tests. Las Vegas, USA, 1953. American military operation Rolling Thunder. U.S. pilots flew 304,000 combat missions, dropping nearly 8 million tons of bombs on Vietnam. Ivory traders in the Great Lakes region, Africa, 1880s. In 1968, for the first time in history, a woman lit the Olympic flame. In the photo, Mexican runner Ketty Basilio. In the early 60s, a mugger in Los Angeles was targeting elderly women. The police set a trap. Officers dressed up as grandmothers and patrolled the streets. The plan worked. The criminal was quickly caught. Special license plates for habitual offenders with distinctive badges greatly simplified police work. USA, 1939. American women donate nylon stockings to the Army, light, durable, and thick. They were ideal for use as powder bags for artillery, USA, 1944. White slaves on the plantations of Barbados. Light-skinned slaves were cheaper than dark-skinned ones, as they were less resilient and obedient. The first underwater nuclear test, USA, Bikini Atoll, 1946. The explosion ejected 2 million tons of water, creating a radioactive tsunami. 75% of the animals perished, and the atoll remained uninhabitable until 2010. The boldest necklines of the 1950s. Day Lavender Panthers, a radical militarized gay group that existed in San Francisco in 1973. The group aimed to defend LGBT rights with arms, as the police were inactive, and attacks on gays and transvestites were rarely investigated. Black Day, the one day of the year when black visitors were allowed at the Memphis Zoo, 1959. Punishment for drunkenness in Chechnya, 1990. Walt Disney tells his cat about Mickey Mouse, 1931. Female prison guard with her inmates, New Orleans, 1963. Oil-rich Native American, Oklahoma, USA, 1920. A heartbreaking scene near Svalbard, 1947. A polar bear cub clings to its lifeless mother after a hunt. The cub reportedly stayed in this position for a day and a night, crying and refusing to leave her side. The execution of counter-revolutionaries. Before the shooting, a sign listing their crimes was hung around their necks. China, 1968. In the Victorian era, hair became an important part of a woman's appearance, reflecting her status and femininity. Women never cut their hair, 19th century. The caning of a negligent student, a common occurrence for those times. Wisconsin, USA, 1905. 1855, AD inviting the wealthy to a slave fair to buy humans. Photographer Jay Maisel among his Kodachrome slides, 1982, and I thought my photo archive was a mess. A 35-year-old peasant in the first half of the 20th century. Poverty in the Victorian era. A crippled polio-stricken match seller survives in London streets circa 1900. Superheroes wash windows in a children's hospital, USA, 2000s. The survival record in open sea after a shipwreck was set by Chinese man Pan Lian. After a German submarine sank the English merchant ship where Pan worked as a steward, he spent 133 days on a wooden raft, surviving by catching fish, collecting rainwater, drinking bird blood, and even killing a shark. The leader in the number of assassination attempts. According to Fidel Castro's head of security, there were 638 assassination attempts on the Cuban leader, mainly by the CYA. The most fraudulent election in history took place in Liberia in 1927. Charles King received 243,000 votes, despite there being only 15,000 registered voters. New Year in a Soviet psychiatric hospital, 1988. For 2,000 years, the people of Sagada in the Philippines have avoided burying their dead. Instead, they hang coffins high on cliffs, believing that the higher the body is placed, the closer the soul is to heaven. Actress Anita Ekberg walked out with a bow to the paparazzi because they were following her all night, 1960. Stalingrad, December 1942. An elephant escaping from a monorail car, Germany, 1950. A Parisian after visiting a bar, 1954. Martin Luther King was arrested for demanding service in a whites-only restaurant, Florida, 1964. The final of the FA Cup, Cardiff City versus Arsenal, April 23, 1927. Police at Wembley literally make their way over fans' heads to their service spots. We will arrive in New York on Wednesday. One of the last letters written aboard the Titanic the day before the disaster, April 13, 1912. Europeans after a tiger hunt, India, 1900s. A Swedish weightlifter celebrates after successfully lifting the weight at the Olympics, Montreal, 1976. German children destroying Nazi literature and swastikas in Cologne, 1945. A Chechen woman carries her belongings through the ruins during the conflict between Russia and Chechnya, 1995. Window cleaner at the World Trade Center, 1979. The man with two heads, Pascual Piñon, Mexico, early 20th century. In the Kingdom of Tonga, it was traditional to cut off the hands of those who participated in the king's burial to preserve the sanctity of their touch. Today, the custom is more humane. The gravediggers are forbidden to use their hands for 100 days. Other people feed them. In the second photo, they're not pedestrians, but daring owners of bicycles and mopeds. Grand Duke Michael Alexandrovich, 1900s. Japanese people. Listen to the Emperor's surrender announcement, Japan, 1945. A nightclub in Paris where everyone chooses the music they want to dance to by tuning it in their headphones, 1963. Roller coasters first opened at Coney Island in 1884. Injuries and even deaths were recorded due to mechanical failures, derailments, and a complete lack of seatbelts. A young fan at an Elvis Presley concert, Philadelphia, USA, 1957. Scottish physicist Robert Watson Watt was once stopped by a police officer for speeding, after which he said, "If I had known what you would do with it, I would never have invented radar." A sailor requests an extraordinary discharge, 1967. In 2000, the Zimbabwean bank ZB Bank Limited held a lottery for depositors. In an incredible coincidence, the grand prize of $100,000 was won by President Robert Mugabe. A Turk washes his feet for his final prayer, while Bulgarian soldiers prepare a gallows for him, 1913. During the 1927 Tour de France, cyclists were known to smoke cigarettes, believing the habit to be a form of performance enhancer for their lungs. Election campaign poster with the slogan, "You are the majority, France, 1969. Dachau concentration camp survivors use a shovel to exact revenge on a guard named Weiss. This photo captures his final seconds of life. April 29th, 1945. Don't be afraid, boy, mommy is nearby. Italy, 1940. Blackface by Eva Braun, wife of Adolf Hitler, 1937. A settlement of poor people in Central Park, New York, 1932. A girl cuts a piece of cake in Iran in 1973, 5 years before the Islamic Revolution that would change the country forever. Ella Harper earned $200 a week as a star in a traveling freak show in the 1880s, born with a rare disease that caused her knees to bend backward. Slogans such as "Brits go home" and "Malta wants independence," 1960. Evacuation of residents from Bikini Atoll for nuclear tests, 1946. A 120-ton silver nugget, British Columbia, 1892. Lebanon before the Islamic Revolution, 1965. Harvesting horseshoe crabs for fertilizer, USA, 1928. For hundreds of years, horseshoe crabs were harvested for fertilizer. This treatment of the species had a significant impact on their population. A. Uchlan, a member of the light cavalry of Kaiser's Germany at the dawn of the end of this branch of the army, 1914. Italian serial killer Leonarda Cianciulli boiled soap from the fat of her victims. She then distributed these pieces to neighbors and acquaintances. A firefighter looks towards the heavily damaged Belgrade's tallest building. NATO bombing, April 1999. Hand-dropped bombs, World War I. Passers-by study a new map of Europe after World War I, 1918. Cigarettes purchased from a hospital bed in the 1950s. Nuns keeping their eyes fixed on a fashionable woman, 1960s. Children tried to shoot the actor who played Superman to test his invulnerability. Lifeboat with Titanic survivors, 1912. These clocks found among the ruins now always show the time 8:15 a.m., the moment of the atomic bomb explosion in Hiroshima. A police dog is not very happy with football players during a match in Cologne, Germany, 1959. A girl from Arizona writes a letter to her sailor boyfriend in the U.S. Navy, thanking him for sending a Japanese skull, 1944. Thank you for watching this video until the end. I hope these photos impressed you. Some may have made you angry, brought a smile, made you happy, or perhaps even caused some negativity. Feel free to leave your comments and stay tuned for the next part. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Bye.